6:30? I've got 6:30.
Yeah, Darlene, it's 6:25, and I'm
All
sure
right,
you're
I'm looking. I'm sorry, my computer says 6:30. It is 5 minutes fast. That's weird. We will wait 5 more minutes.
Patterson. Rector.
Here.
Store. Summers.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Thorsland.
Here.
Tinsley. Wolken.
Here.
Young. Clemens.
Here.
Court.
Present.
Dillard Myers.
Here.
Eisenman. Esri.
Present.
Beers.
Here.
Furtado.
Here.
Goss. Harper. Ingram.
present.
McGuire.
Here.
Michaels.
Here.
Rosales.
Here.
How many people do you have here?
$17.
There is a quorum present. 17 tonight, so 9 is the majority. Okay. This meeting's being conducted remotely. As a reminder, please raise your blue hand. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a blue hand icon, or by your name, you'll see a raise hand icon. I have, looks like Eric Thorsland is wanting to raise his hand. Eric, is your hand raised for some reason?
Yeah, there's a few people called vacant seat on the meeting. I was just wondering who they
I'm
are.
sorry, there's what?
There's a few people called vacant seat. I was
To see
wondering
who those are. They might be public. I'll find out that in a moment. So just a reminder that all votes tonight will be taken by roll call, and also to encourage board members to make omnibus motions if possible so that we can do the roll calls faster. And then for the record, it is also noted that we have 5 board members present in the Lyle Shields room along with myself, so that we do have a meeting here on location. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, we have 6. 6 members are here tonight in the meeting room besides myself. Okay, next we will have to see who else is on the call tonight. Cynthia, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am on the phone.
Okay, Andy, would you please try to find her name and put it next to the, is it the phone number is 1608?
No,
Is it a
217.
That's David Rush with Monarch Mortgage.
Oh, okay, thanks, David.
Cynthia's
Sure.
already labeled as herself. Andy's already on top of it.
Okay, I got it, great. I'm just checking here, going down the list.
Okay, my phone number is 217-607-0774.
Okay, thanks, Cynthia. And then we have 2 vacant laptops in Shields that are listed as vacant. Are those still vacant, Andy? And I think everybody else has a name at this point. Okay, great. All right, good. Okay, next we are going to do the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm looking for the prayer for tonight. Let's see. Give us, O God, the strength to build the city that has stood too long a dream, whose laws are love, whose ways are brotherhood, and where the sun that shines is the grace of God for human good. That's from Walter Russell Bowl from 1882. You can now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance for those of you that are in the room. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Would the clerk please read the notice of the meeting?
Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the County Board, Champaign County, Illinois, will convene on August 20th, 2020, 6:30 p.m. via Zoom in the Lyle Shields Meeting Room, Brookins Administrative Center, 1776 East Washington Street, Urbana, Illinois, in said county for the purpose of allowing and ordering payments of claims against the county, receiving and acting upon reports of committees, and such other matters as may be brought before said meeting, which said meeting shall continue in session from day to day until the completion of said business.
Darlene, you're muted if you don't mean to be.
Mr. Goss, can I get also a second on the motion to approve the agenda?
Darlene, I haven't changed.
I need a hand raised, please. Ms. Cowart, you're seconding? All right. Eric, did you have a comment?
Yeah, John Hall requested that 6B, the environment land use item, the sale of 504 South Dodson be removed because he wants to make a change to the contract from, I believe, from a.
Eric, for some reason you got muted halfway through that.
Excuse me, I'm running the meeting here, please.
We'll do a better job, please.
Eric, did you want to complete saying something? We can't hear you.
Yes, I do. John Hall requested that Aaron and I pull the 6B ELOC item, the sale of 504 South Dodson. He needs to make a correction to the contract request. He requested that be removed, and I make a motion to take that off the agenda.
Okay, we remove that from the agenda. Anything else? Otherwise, we have one other addendum, so that'll be the agenda for tonight. So we have a motion on the table and a second to approve the agenda with the removal of the second addendum. Any further discussion? Okay, those in favor? We need a roll call vote, please.
Patterson. Rector.
Yes.
Summers.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Dorsland.
Yes.
Tinsley.
Yes.
Wolkin.
Yes.
Clemens. Clemens.
Brad, you can pressure. Okay, you might need to move to another computer, which is fine.
Cowart.
Yes.
Dillard Myers.
Yes.
Esri.
Yes.
Fierce.
Yes.
Furtado.
Yes.
Goss. Ingram.
Yeah, yes.
McGuire.
Yes.
Michaels.
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The agenda is approved. Next on the agenda is date and time of the next regular meetings, which are our usual meetings of the board, the committee of the whole, and then, as you know, the end of this week, next week, Monday and Tuesday, we have the legislative budget hearings. for which we have passed out packets of that already for you guys to look at. I hope you all got your packets. Okay, next is public participation. Is there anybody tonight that would like to participate from the public? If so, please raise your blue hand and I will try to find it and call on you. Mr. Beaupre.
Hi, everybody. As expected, this last month had a few more deaths than last month. It's a little bit higher than the 25,000 last month. It's looking like, not sure, the numbers are kind of varied over the last week or so, depending on who you look at. So, you know, somewhere between 26,000 or 29,000, depending on whose numbers you're going by at what point in time of the day. We're averaging over 1,000 deaths from COVID, the coronavirus, every day. I don't have any new projections from this week. The IHME Institute out of Washington that the president was using for his numbers way back when, it hasn't updated for this week yet. Last week's projections were still on track for almost 300,000 deaths before December 1st. You know, they track ahead a few months to see what it may look like depending on our behavior, depending on policies. I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse. I hate to say that we are lucky, but with that case explosion we had last month, you know, if it would have gone a different way in a few different places, I mean, it's still just awful. It's devastating. I mean, so many people are losing their loved ones. You know, people are getting these blood clot issues. They're having their limbs chopped off, you know, strokes and long-term issues with cardiac problems. And, you know, it's just really wish people would take this seriously and not just when they want, you know, not to have the student vote here. I know we all like to have our little pet issues of this, that, and the other, you know, when this group's protesting and that group's protesting, we'd rather it be our group that's, you know, being loud, but, you know, it's dangerous no matter who's coming in contact with other people, and you need to push for safety protocols and safety protection, no matter who's protesting, no matter who's interacting, no matter who's going to a business, going to a school. You know, it's not about political gotchas. It's not just real when it helps your election. It is more important than that. And really wish people would stop distorting the numbers, trying to say that the 2 million number or the 1 million number initially put out there as a projection, which was for, you know, what would happen if we did nothing at all, you know, was somehow proof that this wasn't that big of a deal because, you know, we actually took mitigation efforts and got that number down instead of losing so many more people. It is a tragedy that we have lost almost 200,000 Americans completely unnecessarily. I mean, you're looking at Europe, who had disasters ahead of us. They were warning flags for us to do something to get ahead of this, and we didn't. You know, Italy was a blaring red siren and said, hey, America, look out. And we waited, and we got hit. We got hit hard, and we're still getting hit because we're not taking this seriously. We're still playing petty politics. We have people who don't even know what to believe because the parties are fighting each other on what the facts are, and it's getting people killed. It's getting Americans killed, and it's disgusting to see it at the national level. It's disgusting to see it coming from the White House itself and its own scientific task force being ridiculed by their boss. But it's really disturbing to see local leaders do it and get people killed locally. These people live here. Do better.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other public that wishes to speak this evening? I'm looking for hands. Stephanie, do you have two computers on? I have a Fortato just watching as well as your Stephanie.
Yeah, I have every time since we've started this.
Okay. Do you need two?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's MYHRE. That's a new. Okay.
I have nothing to add right now.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so public participation is over at this point in time. So if you're a member of the public, we ask that you please remove yourself from the Zoom meeting and go to either the YouTube or the Facebook page to watch the rest of the meeting, please. It just makes it easier for us to manage the meeting in terms of the business that we need to take care of. Thank you. Next is the consent agenda. We need a motion for the consent agenda. Mr. Esri, Mr. Rosales. Okay, any discussion on the consent agenda? Mr. Rosales, are you needing to say something about the consent agenda or you just still had your hand up? Okay. No discussion on the consent agenda. Would you take a roll call, please?
Rector,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Wolken,
Yes.
Clemens,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss, Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales,
Yes.
Patterson, yes.
Sorry, motion carries. Next is communications. There is a communication in your packet from the Board of Health. It's an ordinance regarding face coverings and what they passed at their recent meeting. Are there any other communications from the board at this time? Mr. Goss.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
I can't hear a thing.
There we go. How about that?
No, I could.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. There's multiple buttons here. I just wanted to let everybody from the public know that there is a Back the Blue rally this Saturday at Lincoln Square at 1:30 to support all our local police folks. It'll happen in the Vine Street parking lot at Lincoln Square Saturday at 1:30.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Thorsland, do you have something?
Yes, I do. The physics department and campus in general is very short on what they call wellness support associates. It's a job that will go presumably from right now until Thanksgiving, with the potential of also being in the spring. It pays over $14 an hour. I've been sending this to some of the township supervisors and things. You can go to jobs.illinois.edu, and they're looking for people who will work to help with checking on entry to buildings and things on campus. And I'm sure there are people out there right now who could use the work, and I hope that some of those that are listening go to jobs.illinois.edu and look for the wellness support associate positions. They need people, and if you specify physics, the shifts that are listed are actually more numerous than what's on the jobs website. So there's plenty of ways to be flexible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other communications from a board member? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the next item, approval of minutes. We have 3 minutes to approve: the special meeting of July 17th, 2020, the regular meeting of July 23rd, 2020, and the special meeting of August 11th, 2020. Can I get an omnibus motion to approve all 3 of these minutes?
So moved.
Mr. Rosales? Mr. Esri? Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, would we take a roll call, please?
Patterson,
Yes.
Rector,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Wolkin,
Yes.
Clemens,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri, Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels, Rosales.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries. Next, we have the standing committees. The summary of action taken August the 4th, 2020 is received and placed on file. The summary of action taken for August 6th, 2020 meeting of the Environmental Land Use Committee is received and placed on file. The summary of action taken August 7th, 2020 meeting for the Highway and Transportation Committee is placed on file. And then there is one outstanding resolution here, which is adoption of resolution number 2020-196, authorizing amendment to the intergovernmental agreement between the County of Champaign and Champaign Urbana Mass Transit District, with the addition of the county board chair's signature. And just to let you know, the signature was added onto the resolution as it should have been. And so can the executive get a motion for that resolution?
So moved.
Mr. Rosales, second, Ms. Cowart. Ms. Michaels, did you want to say something? No, okay. Okay. Anybody else for discussion? Okay, seeing none, we need a roll call, please.
Patterson,
Yes.
Rector,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Wolkin,
Yes.
Clemens,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Now we're moving to areas of responsibility. The summary of action taken on August 11th, 2020 at the Committee of the Whole meeting was received and placed on file. There is some items under that as well. Policy, Personnel, and Appointments has a recommendation to make. Mr. Young, I don't believe is on the call. Mr. Rector, would you like to make a motion?
Thank you, Darlene. I move adoption of resolution number 2020-231 to establish places of election for Champaign County amid COVID-19.
Do you want to make the second one as well for an omnibus motion?
No.
Okay. Is there a second for item number 1? Mr. Thorsland? Any discussion on this item? Okay, Mr. Goss?
Yeah, I'd just like to note when I was looking through this closer today that the new University YMCA CA site was not listed on the pages where it showed the number of workers per page. The Tolono Public Library was doubled up, so it didn't even list that. It's only in the, it's listed in the addresses, but was not listed in the number of workers per site.
So are you wanting to add that? Is that just a correction that we need to make on it?
I think it's, yeah, I just think it needs to be corrected. So if the
Okay.
public looks at it, they see it.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Mr. McGuire?
Yes, I guess I don't know which one of these the vote by mail mailboxes are supposed to be in. I'd like to find out if those were changed to include other large population areas like Southwest Champaign, Mahomet, St. Joe. Where would that, which one of these would that be in? And has it been changed?
Mr. Ammons is here, I believe, on this call. Mr.
Yes,
Ammons,
I am.
Would you like to respond to that?
Well, I thought he wanted to clarify which bill or proposal this was first. I don't know
Either
which
one. Either
I
one,
think-
and which have they been? Have they increased? And where?
Sure, I'm happy to answer the question. I'm not, that's not the issue. I just thought you wanted to clarify which one it was. But so we have, Jim, I did add one on the Southwest Champaign over at Sholem Pool. I had a conversation with Mr. Joe DeLuch about another location. So I was thinking the Leonard Center all along. Then he said maybe this Circle Drive would be better. Turns out that it was a much better location. Huge Circle Drive. You can just drive up, drop it off on the left-hand side, and it's got a 24-hour surveillance. So that worked out well. To your question about Mahomet and St. Joe, no, Mahomet, St. Joe, and Rantoul will not be added at this time. And there's a long conversation about that and dealing with these drop boxes and the vendors because of such high demand. But we have worked out something that we'll use on the weekends so that people can drop their stuff off on and like a Dropbox location where we have a Democratic and a Republican election judge out there with what are somewhat of a portable Dropbox with security seals in them. And then people can come and use those locations as Dropboxes on Saturdays. We're going to do every Saturday beginning, I believe, in October, early October, so that they can drop them off there and still have some access to a Dropbox location like some of the other sites. And it won't just be Mahomet and Rantoul. It would be St. Joe, Tolono, Mahomet, and Rantoul.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, we need to get a roll call vote, please.
Patterson,
Yes.
Richter,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Dorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley, Wolken,
Yes.
Clemens,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Harper, or Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
And I think Mr. Tinsley has left the meeting. And you got Mr. Patterson, he's here now, so, okay, good. Okay. The motion carries. Next, we have a resolution from the Labor Committee with the Labor Chair. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, yeah, we have one more, I'm sorry, skipped one. Adoption of the second resolution, Mr. Rector.
Thank you, Darlene. I move adoption of resolution number 2020-232 to establish places of election for early voting in Champaign County.
Okay, can I get a second, please? Ms. Taylor? Any discussion? Mr. Ingram?
Not about this item, but Mr. Tinsley did get bounced out of the room and is trying to come back in. I don't know if Andy can let him in.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Goss?
Thank you. I'm not going to be supporting this motion for the early voting sites, basically on the fact that I agreed with the election day University YMCA as an additional site for lines on election day. I can't agree with another election site, early election site that's a block away from the Illini Union for 15 days or 14 extra days at the cost of $1,400. So I will be voting no. Sorry, $14,000. Sorry, it's $1,000 a day for 14 days.
Okay, Mr. Patterson?
Sorry, I was having issues. I just want to remind my colleagues that there is a global pandemic, and last election, we had students who were waiting in line for an hour. So if you think it's a better solution to have a bunch of people standing in line for hours, I really don't know what to say to you.
Okay, Mr. Ingram?
Forgot to put it down.
All right, thank you. Ms. Furtado, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to echo what Kyle said. As you know, I don't know, the University of Illinois is at the cutting edge of trying to get ahead of this pandemic. I don't know if you've been watching the news, but university after university has been closing, and some of them just as soon as they open. Right now, every employee is required to get tested twice a week. There's been dramatic upheavals in people's lives in terms of shift changes. The effort that the university is putting forward to try to keep the community safe, recognizing that the university is not only vital to the education of these students, but also is the economic engine of our county. We need to do everything we can to ensure that we're doing our part to protect safe social distancing during the election, and the idea that we would do anything less is frankly abhorrent. The effort that the university is trying to put in to make this work, and the fact that an election intersects with this, to sort of echo what Ben said earlier, we need to get past partisan politics and whether you want students to vote or not, but we should be supporting any effort for safe social distancing. I applaud the clerk for being proactive in getting a second site, and I can't believe anyone would vote against this.
Ms. Dillard Myers?
I wanted to know, are the students going to have the option to vote by mail like everyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
On that?
Yeah, Mr. Ammons, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you for the question. Yes, they will have the right to vote by mail like everybody else. Getting them registered and making sure that they are registered at that address long enough is about the only concern, but yes, they should be able to vote by mail like anybody else. I wanted to share something earlier too. I forgot to mention this about the drop boxes that we've been doing a lot of work on this. So we took the suggestions serious. I really wanted to have the drop boxes all over Champaign County. That's the objective, but the statute has not made them permanent yet either. That's one of the concerns that we have about having too many of them and then having to go out to each one of those places every day to pick the ballots up. But so all those things have to be worked out. So those are all reasons that and things that went into consideration when we were debating where to put them and how many we would get on this round. The other thing I wanted to announce, and just because I'm very proud of the fact that we were made the online Time magazine today, based upon our efforts for drop boxes and what we're doing in Champaign County, what we're implementing here, as following in the footsteps of some of the leaders across the country and using those drop boxes. So hopefully everything will work out well and it'll alleviate a lot of the pressure on the post office. And I also wanted to make an announcement that we are doing a Save USPS press conference on Saturday from 11 to 12 at the Mattis post office location, because this attack on the vote by mail, I believe, is an attack on democracy. And I could say some other things about it, but I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Clerk Ammons?
Yes.
This is
Okay,
James
wait a minute.
Tinsley. I'm sorry.
James, you got to wait till you're called on, James. Sorry. I think Eric was next.
Thank you. I'm in support of this. What I mentioned earlier about the wellness associates, the buildings on campus will not be the come and go buildings that we are familiar with. They're limiting access to the buildings through select doors so that people can be checked. There's an app on your phone or a website on your phone that allows you to enter buildings, and everyone has to be checked before they go in. So it's not a matter of Clerk Ammons' excellent work in getting the lines reduced by adding some voting places. We will now have a different kind of line, and this line will be to get into the building itself. So the more opportunity at what I find is not a terribly high cost for the students to be able to do this, be able to vote. And we have students from both parties, 3 parties, maybe 4 parties on campus. This is not a partisan issue. This is access to voting on campus, which will be a very restricted environment, as Representative Hurtado said. It is a different world on campus, and it will be a very different world as we go through the fall and up to November. So I'm in support of this, and I wish we could do even better.
Okay, I think Mr. Tinsley, it's your turn now.
Thank you. Clerk Ammons, will there be any measurements taken in regards to protecting the drop boxes?
So all of the drop boxes have to be in visible locations, highly trafficked areas, and the recommendation is that there be a security camera, either that covers it or somehow attached to them. I have been looking for any of the examples of where they're actually able to attach cameras to them, and that's kind of hard to find and in a way that will work for us. But the vast majority of the ones that we'll have, at least 6 of the 7 that we'll have, will definitely have a security coverage on them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rosales.
Yes, sir. And I had one question. There was some concern at the last primary that when you brought those boxes into the voting locations, they were already sealed and the judges were not able to open them to see that they were empty. When you referred to that these boxes will be sealed, is that going to happen again?
So the drop boxes that I'm speaking of they are locked from the backside, and there's a little slit where people can put their envelopes in when they come to bring them back. So we'll have a different key for each one of them. And when the judges show up, the Democratic and the Republican election judge who show up to empty those boxes, they will make sure that they are emptied when they first get there. They'll get all the boxes out of it and make sure they're empty when they're gone. So those are drop boxes that we're discussing. So that's how that will work.
Would it see that they arrive with nothing in them?
So I'll say again, Mr. Rosales, that you may be mixing up something here. The drop boxes that I'm talking about are outside, cemented to the ground. Once they are opened to the public, they'll be empty then. So if you're asking when the maintenance men install them, if they will be empty, I would imagine that they will be mailed to me empty.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Goss, would you like to say one more thing?
Yeah, again, I want to just go on record. I'm wholeheartedly in support of University YMCA on election day, and just not for the early voting. So again, I don't have an issue with it on election day at all. So I just wanted to clarify that in case somebody couldn't hear me. So.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Tinsley, did you want to say one more thing?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Was my hand still raised? Nope. I'm done.
Darlene, if you don't mind, I just wanted to add one other thing. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to also, what's going to be announced at this press conference on Saturday is the Safe Vote Coalition that we have pulled together, that myself as the clerk's office and Julie Pride from CU Public Health, along with several other organizations, NAACP, League of Women Voters, Mayor Finan, we'll all be out there. Representative Ammons and Senator Bennett will all be out there with the APWU, the American Postal Workers Union, President Mike Swinney. We'll all be out there. And I just wanted to make sure that folks understood that this was about the Safe Vote Coalition, where we are promoting that vote by mail is the safest way to vote. And then early voting is the next safest way to vote. And then encouraging anyone who comes to vote on election day to please wear a mask when they come in, to help keep themselves safe and the election workers and other voters safe. We'll have plenty of masks if they happen to forget it. So if everyone would help us promote that message as a part of the Safe Vote Coalition, that would be greatly appreciated. And I think in the best interest of all the voters here in Champaign County. Thank you.
And I see we have further discussion. Ms. Cowart, would you like to say something?
Yes, I want to ask Aaron, will we be able to get a list of where the voting drop boxes are going to be? Because I had a couple of people to call me up trying to find out where the locations would be at.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Cowart. Brookins, and I'll send you the list, but just to say it publicly, Brookins in the Circle Drive, the Urbana Free Library in the parking lot, the quad on the south side of the Union, which will only be accessible by walk up or by biking, Douglas Branch Library in the Circle Drive there, Champaign Public Library in between really the library and Edison Middle School on State Street, on the left-hand side on the east side, and then Sholem Pool in the Circle Drive leading up to Sholem Pool. I hope I covered all. There should be, and then the seventh one actually is at CU Public Health, and their east parking lot is where we have come to agreement for that last one to be there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Furtado, did you have something?
Yes, I want to take one more try at this because this is my district. The vast majority of campus is in my district, the actual property that the campus is on. If you're not familiar, one of the other goals of campus is to try to figure out how you can cut down on, I don't know if any of you've been to campus in the middle of the day when things are super busy. You could barely walk. And if you're trying to get people to social distance, one of the things that you have to do is try to stop people from having to go far distances and cross paths with other people. The way campus works is there's different parts of it, right? The student union is on the edge of the sort of the southern edge of the northern part of campus, meaning that it really does a good job serving well like the sciences, right? The YMCA is in the heart of just off the quad, is much more closer to the south side of campus where there's things like urban planning and the arts and a lot of the humanities. And so having two early voting locations will cut down on people who are traditionally in one part of campus having to walk all the way across campus And it will help cut down on like adding extra traffic patterns that don't need to be there. To Connie's point about can students vote by mail? Yeah, of course they could definitely vote by mail, but you also have to recognize as students are just now moving in, right, and establishing their address, if they have enough time, let's just be real, they're not all going to turn in their thing in time, and there's going to be a lot of in-person voting. If we want to cut down on voting on the final day of the election, having 2 early voting places on campus, I honestly don't think that's too much to ask. I'm going to really try, like Jim, if you were saying to me, listen, Muhammad needs another early voting site in order to combat COVID-19, I'm worried about traffic patterns, I would 100% vote for that in your district. I am asking you to vote for it in my district. It is important to me. I am incredibly worried about campus. I want us to stay open. This is a small thing that we could do to play our part in ensuring people's health and safety on our campus. I am asking you all personally to vote for this in my district.
Okay, Mr. Patterson.
And also this is in my district as well when it comes to the campus area. I just want to say in regards to the idea of mail, you know, mail is an option. A lot of people are going to do mail, but the vast majority of voters have never voted by mail. So there's undoubtedly, there's going to be confusion. There's going to be people who are unsure or miss deadlines. A lot of people are going to wind up voting in person. I mean, that's why there are the options to do drop boxes and all those other things. So we shouldn't just expect that 100% of the voters are going to be able to vote by mail. And a lot of times when we talk about campus polling places, I hear a lot of discussion about proximity. You know, there's a comment earlier about the proximity of this polling place to the Union. What we have to take into account is that we have about 40,000 people in a square mile on campus. So it's not about how far each of them are from each other. It's about how many people are feeding into those. So sure, hypothetically, yeah, somebody could walk another about, you know, 4 or 5 blocks to go over to the Union, but they're going to be waiting in line with tens of thousands of, you know, potentially other voters. And that's what this is trying to alleviate. We don't want to see long lines at campus polling places or any polling places during this pandemic. I want to remind you guys that when we discussed the polling location on campus in 2018 going into the general election, my caucus at least was very concerned about the fact that we had a polling place that was on the 4th floor of the building and, you know, the problems that that would lead to. And, you know, we were told, oh no, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not going to be a big deal. The turnout's usually small in midterms. We had more students vote than had ever voted. And we had people waiting in line for an hour, a line that snaked down 4 flights of stairs that got national news attention. It was an embarrassment to this county. So do we want the embarrassment this time not just to be that people are waiting in exhaustive lines, but people are waiting in long lines during a global pandemic, creating a hazard to public health? I'm very proud of my mayor in Champaign, Deb Finan, who has stepped up to take really proactive steps to try to keep our community safe, to keep our economy open, and to stop these outbreaks. And I would hope that we could take the minor step of having this polling location in order to keep our community healthy. Because if our community is not healthy, we get shut down. And I know that you guys are very concerned about businesses having to shut down. If you don't want businesses shut down, let's take measures to be safe, because we know what's going to happen if there's a second wave of this thing. So this seems like the sensible thing. And you know, Mr. Goss, when you had some concerns about a polling location being switched in your district, I talked to you about it. I showed genuine concern. This isn't about partisan politics for us. This is about protecting the most important civil liberty that Americans have, the right to vote.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other hands at this point from new people that wish to speak, so I think we're ready to do a roll call. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Patterson.
Yes.
Storr. Rector.
Rector, no.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Wolkin,
Yes.
Clemens,
No.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
No.
Ingram,
Yes, please.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, now we're ready for item B, Labor Committee. Would the Labor Chair like to make the committee's recommendation regarding item 1?
I will certainly move adoption of the resolution. Before I do that, I just want to note that in 2022, the Labor Committee will be looking at issues other than simply salary and benefits for our county sheriff contracts. I move adoption of resolution number 2020-234, approving agreement among the Champaign County Board, the Sheriff of Champaign County, and the Fraternal Order of Police, Illini Lodge 17, and the Illinois FOP Labor Council, Champaign County Office of the Sheriff's Law Enforcement and Law Enforcement Sergeants for 1/1/2020 through 12/31/2022. Can I have a motion?
Okay, thank you. Can I get a second? Mr. Rosales. Okay, any discussion? Mr. Rosales, did you want to say something else?
No.
Okay, your hand is still up. Sorry. Okay, then I guess we're ready for a roll call vote, please.
Patterson,
Yes.
Rector,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Wolkin, Clemens,
Yes.
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Now we're down to new business. Can the executive get a motion for item A, please?
So moved.
Mr. Rosales, you'll need to read it.
Okay, adoption of resolution 2020-200 authorizing an acceptance agreement between the Champaign County and the Illinois State Board of Election for the year of FY 2021 HAVA, H-A-V-A grant.
Okay, may I get a second, please?
I so moved.
I'm sorry, that would be Mr. Ingram. Okay. Any discussion on that item? Mr. Thorsland, are you just having something? Okay. All right, I think we did talk about this a little bit at our last meeting. So I think we're ready for roll call.
Patterson,
Yes.
Rector,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Wolkin, Clemens,
Yes.
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Next is item B under new business. Can the executive get a motion for item B? Mr. Goss.
I move adoption of resolution number 2020-235, authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental cooperation agreement between the county and the town of Normal, McLean County, Illinois, Normal, and authorizing Normal to exercise the power of the county of Champaign in connection with an MCC program and a loan finance program.
Okay, can I get a second? Mr. Esri. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we're ready for a vote. Please take the roll call.
Patterson,
Yes.
Rector,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Dorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Vulcan, Clemens,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. And now we're down to other business. There is a report from the auditor. Can I get a motion for adoption of that resolution? Mr. Goss? Ms. Michaels? Okay, any discussion? Actually, we need to read it, so.
Yeah. I move adoption of resolution number 2020-233, authorizing payment of claims.
Okay, seconded by Ms. Michaels. And now is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we're ready for a roll call vote.
Patterson,
Yes.
Rector,
Yes.
Summers,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Dorsland,
Yes.
Tinsley,
Yes.
Vulcan, Clemens,
Yes.
Cowart,
Yes.
Yes.
Dillard Myers,
Yes.
Esri,
Yes.
Fears,
Yes.
Furtado,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Ingram,
Yes.
McGuire,
Yes.
Michaels,
Yes.
Rosales.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. We are now down to adjournment unless somebody has something very pressing they need to say. Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.